I want to talk about something very important. We are in a big transition. We are in a Mercury retrograde. We are in like all kinds of crazy planetary stuff, right? So, if you're feeling this urge to pull inward, if you're feeling this this desire of completion or of a need to kind of settle yourself, or you're feeling maybe very like, oh my God, what's next? What's next? What's next? I want to invite you to slow down, to speed up. So we're raised in a society that's like, go, go, go. What's the next thing? However, we are now in the Aquarius age. Patriarch is done, and we are more in flow. And so, if we've been reconfiguring ever since the beginning of the year. So, what I want to invite you to do, especially because we are in June, it is almost halfway through the year and we forget. We forget to just take stock, to look at our lives and think, okay, what's draining on my energy? What's pulling me away from my authentic self? And I'm telling you all this because you can't show up authentically as a brand if you are not clean and clear and like grounded. And so I know there's like a myriad of different ways where you can go in multiple directions, and then you end up confusing yourself, then you stop, and then you do nothing. So to avoid this, I want you, for this day and the rest of the week, I want you to just slow down a bit. There's more than enough time. There are more than enough clients. There's more than enough money. It's all coming to you now. But what you have to do is get rid of the energy leaks. And I was recently working with a mentor of mine, and it's to like take a look at your life and what feels incomplete. Are there like a mess of papers on your desk? Do you need to book your dentist appointment because you didn't do that last year because of COVID? Whatever the case may be, I want you to start closing some circles that might make you feel drained, uneven. And I bet the moment I said it, there was like 3 or 4 things that popped into your mind that you could be like, oh yeah, I've been meaning to do that. Like I had to place this order for, it was probably going on a month, and every day it would just like, bing, don't forget to do that. Bing. And I don't know what my resistance was. It was not hard. It took literally 5 minutes. But it was like an unclosed circle in my life. So I took care of it and I was like, oh, thank God that's over. So maybe make a list, maybe take 5 seconds, literally 5 seconds. And don't let this be you're bad, you're wrong, or anything like that. You're doing nothing wrong. There are just energy drains for you right now of things you have not completed. And also, like, okay, look at your life. Who else can do this? Maybe you can delegate it to someone in your family. Maybe the college kid down the street is looking for some extra work over the summer. Maybe you can hire an inexpensive VA. Like, whatever it takes to get the thing done. And it's often the energy of thinking about it, remembering that it needs to be done, that is the drain more than actually doing it itself. Or we make it harder in our minds than it actually is to just do it and execute it and like let it go. And these are the very things that keep us like inadvertently from going live. I know it sounds crazy and like disconnected, but it's not. It's like, oh, yeah, I'll do that, but I have this. Meanwhile, you're like all those things on the list are not getting done. So I just want you to take a few minutes, like 1 minute, 60 seconds, and write down a couple of things that have been on your mind that you know need to be completed, that you've been putting off and putting off and putting off, and it's draining you of your energy and not allowing you to have the creativity and the abundance and the clarity of what you need to do to show up for your brand and your business. Like I know kind of illogical. Like you might want to be diving in and jumping in. Like, well, what's my next thing? Or what can I pitch? Or what can I launch? Or what can I start doing in my brand? Blah, 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 blah. Like, stop sign. Hold on just one sec. And let's clean this up first. It's like trying to cook a beautiful meal in a dirty kitchen. Like, ew, no, we don't want to do that. We definitely don't want to do that. So let's clean the space first. And then from there, a true, wonderful creativity can come, and you'll know what to come to the table with. You'll know what you want your brand to be. Like, the clarity can sometimes come from cleaning up and closing the circle on a few things. For me, we have lived in this house for almost a year, and there's still some like we haven't hung anything on the walls except for in one room, and it's driving me bananas. And I literally like will walk down the hallway or sit in the living room and I think about it every day. I mean, this is like a champagne problem, I understand, but this is like one thing that has just been bugging me. And I've recently taken that feng shui course that I shared with you guys, and just how much the energetics of your environment really play into your abundance, your productivity, your ability to like show up. And again, it's like a loop that I haven't closed for almost a year. So nothing to be embarrassed by, just realizing like, oh, I didn't make it a priority, and that's fine. And it's fun thing for me to do. And then on top of that, like I said, I had to place that order. It'd been a month that I've been meaning to do it, and just doing it made me feel so much better. So I want this for you too. So put in the comments like what loop you're gonna close. And then as far as the business, like maybe you've been meaning to go live and meaning to go live and meaning to go live, and you haven't done it. Well, why don't you take all the energy that you've been spending thinking like, I need to go live, I need to go live, I need to go live, and go live and say, you guys, I've been spending all my energy thinking about going live, and now I'm going live. Just be honest. It's so much more fun that way. So this is my challenge for you today, to do this little exercise, and then at least cross one thing off the list or delegate one thing off of the list, and let's hop to it, huh? If you need any help or clarity around that, let me know. And then a lot of you, I know now I'm going to switch gears completely. Ain't no shame in this game. So a lot of you polled that you wanted to know more about email marketing. Well, I have a podcast coming out about this, but a little sneak preview because you're in this wonderful private Facebook group. The best way to grow your email list is to create something of value and have that thing answer the very first question or get people through the very first step in the process, in your method, or whatever you're up to. If you're a product-based business, sometimes that's like, here's 10% off your first purchase. That will allow me to engage with you as a business. If you are like an expert, a coach, or providing a service, like what's the very first thing that someone needs to know, understand about themselves or their business or their product or whatever? What's the very first step that they need to take? Well, then you make a free gift, free offer, free quiz, free PDF, free video series about that particular thing that's going to get them through that first step. This does so many different things. One, it truly adds value for your client and your customer. Two, it gets them to know you. It gets them to know your personality, how you like to deliver information, what your expertise are. And three, it gets people into your stratosphere. And this is how you're going to grow your email list, by offering something of free and a value. But then, my friend, you need to frickin' talk about it. You need to get on the socials. You need to get in your current email list. Like, tell people to share it with a friend. You need to start talking about it. Like, oh my God, I have this really great, like, our brand archetype quiz. Go take it. You're going to find out which brand archetype you are, and then what your next steps are as that particular brand archetype. let alone how to, like, what your next photo shoot should look like, or what you should be, representing in your brand, what your color palette should be, etc. So that's the very first step that we solve for our beautiful, wonderful audience. And then they get to know me, and like I'm cheeky and I'm funny, and there's like a little videos on the other side, etc., etc. So what is your version of that? I want you to think about that, and then you need to start telling people about it, and then people will gladly give their name and their email over for that information, that is so valuable. And you're like, Jessica, but there's so many other things out there that are already, like, I could just Google it on YouTube, but it's not going to be you, and it's not going to be your voice. And this is how you start to build an audience. You can't worry about the content that is already out there. You have to be creative in your endeavor, and keep continuing to be creative in your endeavor, and share it the way you're going to share it, because that's what's going to make the difference to your audience, and that's why they're going to want to listen to you and pull you out of the crowd. So I went into two teachings today. One, complete some ish. Get your like, we're in a pull in, a reflective space right now, and now is the perfect time. It's the beginning of summer, to like just clean up some of those little baby messes, close some of those loops. And I just wanted to address that email marketing question, which is totally over here based on what I started with. Who cares? Hopefully you found this helpful, and I will see you guys next week.